This is Into Vietnam, bringing you the latest and most comprehensive updates on Vietnam's economy throughout the past week. Every week, we cover the trends within the macroeconomy and investment landscape and what investors can expect going forward. We'll have that and more in the first part of our program, and after that, Talk With Us, our regular feature with the movers and shakers in the contemporary Vietnamese economy. Our guest today is Mr. Marc-Antoine Chariot, Head of International Airport Activities in Asia of Zurich Airport.
Welcome to Talk With Us. It's my pleasure to have Mr. Chariot, Head of International Airport Activities in Asia, Zurich Airport Company, as our guest of today. Mr. Chariot, thank you very much for joining our program.
Thank you.
First of all, could you please tell us something about your company?
I'm working for Zurich Airport Limited. Zurich Airport Limited is the owner and operator of Zurich Airport in Switzerland, located in the heart of Europe. And we are handling at our airport in Zurich at the moment about 22 million passengers a year. And since about 10 years, Zurich Airport is also applying its know-how of operating airports abroad. And our focus markets so far were India, where we operate Bangalore International Airport, the third largest airport in India, with about 10 million passengers. And we operate a handful of airports in Latin America. One of the biggest one is in Colombia, followed by a handful of airports in Chile and in Honduras.
And what do you think about the potential of the market in Vietnam at the moment?
We are focusing on the Vietnam aviation market since about 1.5 years now. We have gathered some intelligence about how the Vietnamese airline market and airport market is functioning and is organized. And we truly believe that the very ambitious government plans of extending the volume and the capacity of Vietnamese airports would require in the future some privatization processes, at least in the larger scale airports, in order to push through these ambitious plans from the government. We believe as professional airport operator that we could focus on one or two mid-sized to large airports in Vietnam, where we could bring in our expertise but also our money, because we are also investing into airports. So that's why we believe the potential of the Vietnamese airline market and airport market is attractive for us due to the fact that we have observed quite an aggressive growth, passenger growth, but also cargo growth at airports in Vietnam. And this growth will continue in the future due to higher wealth status of the people of Vietnam, and they can now afford to travel. And this will all stimulate the passenger growth at various airports in Vietnam.
In developing aviation infrastructure, there's a model named public-private partnership model. So could you please tell us more information about this model?
Size-critical infrastructure in nearly all the states around the globe are either fully owned by the state, or there is this model applied which is called public-private partnership. Private-public partnership means nothing else than that the government is taking into the boat private investors who are taking part of the risk, but are also bringing in expertise and know-how in order to push a specific piece of infrastructure. It doesn't need to be an airport. It can be roads, bridges, water treatment installations, etc., etc. But the component of a private investor coming into the play, it can be observed in all the PPP models that the speed of realization of those projects and the professionalism of running the projects are increasing with a PPP model.
In your opinion, What are the benefits of this model when being applied in the market of Vietnam?
We strongly believe that a properly applied PPP model, like what has been now in preparation since some time now in Vietnam, the so-called PPP decree from the government, will push the speed of project realization, which is in our view needed in order to cope with the demand of additional infrastructure, especially in the aviation sector. Secondly, it adds a certain degree of professionalism in combination between local know-how and foreign know-how, and it does also increase the professionalism in terms of returns for investments.
So what about challenges when applying this model?
Specifically in Vietnam, we have discovered a number of challenges. One of the challenges we are facing or we would like to address is the combination between private investment, government investment in combination with ODA. ODA is a very critical element of financing of public infrastructure in Vietnam, and we believe that a combination between private investors, ODA money, which flows in mainly from Japan, and government money in a combination will add up to a certain amount of money which is needed to establish such very expensive infrastructure, which can then be realized in a very speedy manner and in a very professional manner as well. So this is a challenge to combine this ODA, these funds which are flowing in, government money and the private investors.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. And my last question for you is about European allies. As you know, European allies and airports are suffering because the volcanic eruption in Iceland. So what do you think about this crisis and how to overcome it?
Yes. Of course, the situation which we were facing, especially last weekend, was a very special situation. It was never seen before that whole fleets of dozens of airlines were grounded because of this natural disaster. And it was for basically all the service providers at the airport operator himself, the airlines. It was a very, very difficult time. Every professional airport operator is also having a risk assessment exercise on a regular basis for certain cases like fire, flooding, etc., etc. But this kind of situation was unforeseen, and the special thing about it was that a whole system collapsed. It was not only a single airport; it was a multiple airport event, and basically everybody was blocked. There was no alternative. You have no alternative then to wait till the system can be run up again. Alternatives in Europe were trains and buses for the last week. I can give you the example how I got to Vietnam. I took the train from Zurich to Vienna, which was an 8-hour trip. And then I had an overnight in Vienna, and I took the first flight out of Vienna to Bangkok and then to Hanoi, because Vienna was not blocked. So a lot of people took this alternative, travel by train, and then take the plane from a different place.
Once again, thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck with your business in Vietnam.
That concludes our program this week. Thank you for watching. For comments and feedback, please send us an email at intovietnam@vitv.vn or give us a call at 04-2220-8288. Thank you and see you next time.